Assalamu alaikum and hi everyone. This is me, Shahriyar Haider Bhatti. I'm good and hope the same for you. Welcome to the channel named Education World Official. I know you might be wondering to see me in the physics portion, but yeah, deal with it. So, students, previously I have told you and marked you the important questions that would be really helpful for you in the coming examination for maths portion. And today I will be telling you about the important short questions that would be really helpful for you in the coming examination of physics portion. So I will be sharing the screen within 10 to 15 seconds. Do watch it till end and I guarantee if you haven't prepared anything, just go through these questions. Your 80 to 90% of the paper will be solved. And students, let me tell you one thing, these guest papers are not only prepared by myself, but it includes the whole team, my many of the teachers, and of course my team members named Munib Qureshi and Mr. Muzammil Ali. And the material has been very authentic and useful for you. So last but not the least, it's a request to all of you to please subscribe my channel if you haven't subscribed, and give it a thumbs up if you like my video, and click on the bell for never miss an update. Thank you so much. Let's get back to the screen very soon. Students, welcome to the Education World Official. These guest papers for 2022, specific for the class FSC Part 1, ICS and subject Physics, and of course it may include FSC for pre-engineering and pre-medical. So important short questions of all the first 11 chapters. These guest papers have been prepared by Mr. Shahriyar Haider Bhatti, Mr. Munib and Mr. Muzammil Ali and many of the other teachers. So these guest papers are good for best for Lahore board, Gujranwala board, Rawalpindi board, Sargodha boards, Faisalabad, Sahiwal, Multan, DG Khan, Bahawalpur and Azad Kashmir boards. You may be concerned with only Lahore and Gujranwala board. So students, chapter number 1, important questions. Does the dimension analysis give the information on a constant of the proportionality that may appear on the algebraic expression? Explain it. I think this is your exercise question. Go through. Okay, students. I prefer to first open your book and mark this question. Then I will tell you the solutions of this question separately in a separate video. Question number 2. Write the dimensions of the pressure and density. Very important. Pressure is equal to force by area, and density is the mass over volume. The wavelength of a wave depends on the speed of the wall and its frequency. Decide which statement is correct. I think this is something missing. We'll leave this statement. Next, we have differentiate among precision and accuracy. Very important question. Very, very important questions. Next, we have what do you know about the dimension analysis? Write down the dimensions of the velocity. Just you have to know the formula that velocity is what, and acceleration is what. Acceleration is change in velocity by time. Force is equal to mass into a acceleration. All of this, then you will be able to put the formula and write its unit and according to their dimensional values. Next, we have show that the famous Einstein equation is equal to mc square. Very important questions. Then this is the formula F is equal to G m1 m2 by r. ये भी बहुत हमारे पास क्वेश्चन आता है. What is absolute uncertainty? And then students, we have example 2, 3, 4, 6 important regarding short question. Similarly, numerical 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 important for short questions. Okay, chapter 1 is sorted, done. Now let's move to the chapter number 2. We have explained the terms of unit vector, position vector and the component of the vector. Open chapter number 2 and these terms are written in the first 2 pages. Okay. Next, we have the sum vector of 3 vectors give a 0 resultant. Can you be the orientation scan? What can be the orientation of the vectors? Is it possible to add a vector quantity into a scalar quantity? Very important questions. Next, we have can you add 0 to the null vector? Okay, if add, then write yes. If no, then write no. And I know you better know the answer. If not, then land it. Show that the sum and the difference of the 2 perpendicular vectors of equal lengths are also perpendicular of the same length. Okay. Next, suppose the size of the closed polygon. ये भी बताना है आपने. Define null vector. Then define resultant vector and rectangular vector. Scalar product. Define torque. Define momentum. Define coordinate axis and rectangular coordinate axis. Then define vector product with 2 examples. Right hand rule. 2 properties of scalar. Or it comes out like the 2 properties. It may comes like that. Write down 2 properties of scalar product, or under what conditions the scalar product will be the minimum or maximum. Okay. Write down the true properties of a vector product, or under what conditions vector product will be maximum or and zero. Scalar product is a commutative property. Justify. It is requiring a justification. Vector product is a non-commutative property. Justified. Okay, done. Next we have question number 3. Define impulse. Define law of conservation of linear momentum. Differentiate between elastic and inelastic. At what point or point is its path does a projectile have minimum speed? Its maximum speed. Define the term. Impulses. Also write its unit and dimension. Okay, find the expression of the force on the wall due to the water flow. What do you know about the projectile motion? Explain the expression from height and projectile height, maximum. This all comes in long question as well, time as well. Then write the expression for the time of the flight. Then we have expression for the range and maximum, and combining all of the last 4 short questions, there comes up one long. Okay, next chapter number 4 is important regarding short state law of energies. Then I think these are 2 numericals. Just go through it by your own. A rocket enters when a rocket enters the atmosphere, its nose cone becomes very hot. And where does it hits come from? A girls drop a cup from a certain height which breaks into pieces. Which energy is involved? It may be kinetic or potential. You better know the answer. Define the term work and define its SI unit and its dimensions. Okay, so next we have then we have differentiate between conservative and non-conservative fields. Important. Define power, give SI units and its dimension. Differentiate between average, and this question is very important. Prove that the power P is equal to F dot V. Then define joule, volt, kilowatt hour. 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 3.6 megajoule. Prove that. Sorry. Then we have define the term energy, gravitational potential energy, and all of this you just go through by your own. चैप्टर नंबर 5 में हमारे पास पूछ रहा है एक्सप्लेन बिटवीन टेंजेंटल वेलोसिटी, व्हाट इज मेंट बाय सेंट्रीपिटल फोर्स, व्हाट इज मेंट बाय मोमेंट ऑफ इनर्शिया, angular momentum. This question is very important. Prove that mvr is equal to length, orbital length. State the directions of the following vectors. Okay, when a mud flies of the tire of moving, in which direction it flies? Important questions. A disc and a hoop, very important. Why does a diver change its position before diving into the pool? Very important. Explain the term angular displacement, the relationship between radian and degree. I think this is not an important question, but just you have to know about this question. Okay, next we have define the different terms corresponding to the circular. This is also not so much important. Then moment of inertia, important. Differentiate between spin and orbital angular momentum, very important. Orbital velocity, distinguish between real weight and apparent weight, very important. Okay, students. So next we have chapter number 6. So I think it would be very easy for you to that I will tell you that these questions are from exercise, so that you will be it will be easy for you to search it. And these questions are additional questions. Okay, so let's see what are exercise questions. Define the term viscosity. Okay, drag force. A differentiate between laminar and turbulent flow, and it may also a streamlined flow. Then 2 rowboats are moving parallel in the same directions are pulled towards each other. Then explain it. Then question number 6 we have explain how the swing is produced in the fast moving cricket ball, and then Bernoulli's principle. And these are additional questions that are not involved in the exercise questions. Define the term terminal velocity, means Vt. Properties of the ideal fluid, Torsley theorem, and then Venturi relationships. So friends, next we have chapter number 7. What is the distance? Okay, what is the total distance traveled by an object which is equal to the amplitude A, and its answer is 4a. What happens to the period if the simple pendulum, if the length of the simple pendulum is doubled, and what if the mass is doubled? You know the formula F is equal to 2 pi L over G. Similarly, F is equal to 2 pi K over M. So ये आपको इसको relate करना है आपस में. Then what is meant by phase angle? Then we have under what conditions does the addition of the two produces resultant, etc. Additional questions: define simple harmonic motion, define simple pendulum, define free and forced oscillations, define resonance, difference between mechanical and electrical resonance, advantages, then phenomena, and then sharpness of the resonance. Okay, friends. So moving towards, we have question chapter number 8. These are exercise questions and these are additional questions at my side. Okay. Is it possible for two idle waves traveling in the same direction along a strip to give it a rise to the stationary wave? No, it's not possible. If yes, then write the justification. Why does sound travel faster in sound than solids than in gases? How are beats useful in tuning musical instruments? Explain why travel fast versus in warm air than in cold air. Then we have additional questions. Define the term wave. Define mechanical, electromagnetic waves. Define between longitude and transfer waves. Then progressive waves. Describe the density of the speed of sound in gases. What is the effect of temperature? Define the principle of superposition. And then define the term beats, interference. Differentiate between constructive, destructive interference with one example is very important. Describe the two conditions of reflections of waves important. Then define node and antinode. I hope you're getting my points. I hope you're getting my point very clearly. And I believe, मुझे उम्मीद है कि आपके ये सारे क्वेश्चन जो मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ ये आपके लिए बहुत ज़्यादा हेल्पफुल होंगे इंशाल्लाह. स्टूडेंट्स नेक्स्ट देखते हैं हमारे पास चैप्टर नंबर 9. इसमें क्या पूछ रहे हैं? अंडर व्हाट कंडीशंस टू और मोर सक्सेसफुल मोर रिसोर्सेज ऑफ लाइट बिहेव्स एज कोहेरेंट फॉर रिसोर्सेज. Then you have to, what is the distance between interference fringes affected by the separation between the slates? Can fringes disappear? Can visible light produce interference? If yes, explain. Young experiment. I hope आपने नो 8 चैप्टर ऑलमोस्ट स्टूडेंट्स ना छोड़ देते हैं बिकॉज आई थिंक ये काफ़ी ज़्यादा मुश्किल होता है. इसकी वजह से स्टूडेंट्स हमारे पास छोड़ देते हैं लेकिन फिर भी आपने इसको पूरा गो थ्रू करना है. नेक्स्ट वी हैव ओहो आई माइट हैव सम मिस एडिट. ओके देन चैप्टर 6. Newton rings with transmitted light? If yes, would the pattern be different? Then how would you manage to get more orders of spectra using diffractions? Correct. Then we have additional questions. Define wavefront, explain its type, ray of light, two postulates, and differentiate between interference and diffractions, fringes. Then what are Newton rings? The center of the Newton ring is dark. Why? Explain it. This is a very important question. And then we have diffraction grating. What is meant by diffraction of light? Define turn grating element. Okay. Then why the diffraction effect of X-rays are not observed by the ordinary diffraction grating? Students, आप इसको भी mark कर लें. I will make another video in which I will tell you its solution and give you in the soft form. Okay. Then chapter 10 हमारे पास है. What do you understand by the linear magnifications and angular magnification? Explain. Differentiate between angular magnification and resolving power. Advantages of compound microscope. Then if a person is looking at the telescope a full moon, how would the appearance of the moon be changed by covering half of the objective lens? Then we have its text is not in a proper way. Let me adjust it. Okay. Then we have what is the average velocity of the molecule. Then what does the pressure of a gas in a car increases? Specific heat. Then we have example processes. Then can it is possible to convert internal energy into mechanical? Explain with example. These are additional questions. Write the 4 postulates. Oh, I think I have just for your better appearance 4 postulates of kinetic energy theory. What is meant by pressure of gas? Boyle's law from kinetic theory of gases. Then Charles' law. Then what is the average translation kinetic energy of the molecule at gas 28 degrees Celsius? Define the term internal energy. Then first law of thermodynamics. Differentiate between isothermal and adiabatic processes. What is meant by heat, work. Then define molar specific heat, Cp and Cv. Define term cycle, heat engine, second law, and then last but not the least Carnot theorem. So students, I have told you each and every question and even I have read it out along with you so that you will left with no more confusion. So now I will be sharing in the next video long question as well as important numericals. So stay tuned and I hope you like my video. So please, it's a request to you, if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up, like it, subscribe it. Until that, Allah Hafiz. Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.